Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Victor again with my Ioniq 5. Now, I've been trying to put this video together for probably the past month, but every time I start, I learn something new. So I keep on adding to my list every couple days, and at this point we're well over 10 tips, so I just decided I need to make the video now before it gets too long, too hard to watch, and even harder to edit. So here we go. We're going to start with tip number 1, and that's the 12-volt battery charging indicator. It's supposed to let you know that even though the car is off, the high voltage system is still active. I believe it only applies to the US market cars, not sure about Canada, but pretty sure the European spec cars don't have this. Now within the first day or two of ownership, I actually noticed this light was on and I was just really confused about it because I didn't understand what it was for. Our cars are still fitted with 12 volt standard batteries for basic functions. So you could still theoretically come to your car and realize, oh, it's got a dead battery, in the sense that you can't start it, you can't even unlock it. I've heard it's for safety purposes, as they don't want such high voltage going through the entire car. But what that means is when you're in accessory mode, or if the car is not fully on and using the main battery, then you're pulling everything from your 12 volt battery, and eventually that'll drain. So now obviously our cars have giant 77.4 or whatever size battery you have on board, and the 12 volt battery can actually pull the charge directly from it. So the car is supposed to sort it out and figure out when it needs to, and when it does that, you'll notice this light coming on. It's nothing to worry about. It's actually a good thing. That means the system is working. It actually took me, I want to say, a couple weeks before I could even film it, because I don't see it very often. Number 2 for me is the driver's headrest if you have a limited trim car or a higher spec car. Again, not sure about the other markets. This one really slipped my mind. I was just so excited to try out all the different features in the car that I never realized my car came with an adjustable headrest. So for about the first 2 weeks I was driving around and it just felt like the headrest was angled a little more far forward than I was used to, and I ended up getting these neck pillows for the front seats, thinking, well, this will take care of that, plus it'll be nice for when I lie down during charging. And eventually I actually noticed that the headrest rails for the front seats weren't matching, and I confirmed on the forums that indeed the driver is supposed to have an adjustable headrest. So I remember trying to actually push it and trying to mess with it, and I couldn't get it to work. So then I had to climb to the back seat and give it a really good push from behind, and all of a sudden it clicked. So if you have a limited trim car, your driver's headrest does adjust, but mine was super stiff, so you may have to give it a pretty good push. Tip number 3 is about vehicle to load. Now I went into this thinking that I needed an adapter just like everybody else, but the limited trim cars come with the vehicle to load outlet already built in under the middle seat in the second row. It does exactly the same thing, except you don't need an adapter and you don't need to plug it into the charge port. So you can pull the same load and do pretty much everything you need to. In terms of use, first time you need to unlock it, you just stick the key into the hole. It's a really shallow hole, so just stick it in a little bit, turn it to the unlock position. I pretty much keep mine unlocked all the time now. One tip or trick I want to really emphasize here is just finding creative ways to use vehicle to load. We know it can do amazing things like power refrigerators and heat your house during a power outage, but there's so many more applications it can be used for, and we just have to be imaginative and creative and figure out what it is. I think Hyundai did some teaser clips focused on what they called ultimate camping, but it highlights the fact that pretty much you're driving a mobile campsite. If you're the type of person that likes to camp with a power hookup available, well, now you don't need to. Now you can go anywhere you want and have that power with you. So really looking forward to what people do with it. Tip number 4 is just the car's ability to show you all the information that you need to know. So from the electricity use screen, that gives you the ability to keep tabs on your kilowatt usage for heating and cooling, for electrical systems. Then there's also the energy flow distribution force page, which lets you keep tabs on which motor is getting power, which motors are using regen braking. Then there's also the recent trip efficiency pages that you can scroll through, as well as the efficiency history for eco driving. So there's a lot of useful information for you if you want to keep tabs on energy usage. Tip number 5, Hyundai's bluelink app and Google Assistant actually are partially integrated. So the first time I did it, Google asked if I wanted to allow bluelink access, something along those lines, basically a setup process. Google Assistant took care of everything. They asked me questions, I answered, and that was it. I never had to open up anything on my phone. I didn't have to touch anything on the screens in the car. It all set it up basically through Google Assistant. Now, as you can see, it's only really able to do remote climate start at this point. I haven't gotten it to do anything else, but it's a start.
Okay, Google. Ask bluelink to set the temperature to 70 degrees.
To remote set climate control of your Ioniq 5 to 70 Fahrenheit, please say your bluelink PIN. A request to remote set climate control has been sent.
Tip number 6, and I've already done a video of this, so if you want to know more, feel free to check it out in the description below. If you're trying to maximize your range efficiency and you have an all-wheel drive trim car, you actually want to stay out of iPedal regen when you're accelerating. Because in the other regen levels, once you pass 15 miles per hour, assuming you're in eco or normal drive mode, it'll actually disengage your front motor. So you'll essentially be driving in rear-wheel drive. But if you're in iPedal, you're telling the car that you want to maximize your braking regen. So that means it's keeping both of those motors active and on, so when you accelerate, you're sending power to both motors. Tip number 7 is to make sure you use split screen for Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. I don't think they come enabled from the factory, so you have to do it yourself. Go to the setup menu and then type in Android, and it'll show you a use split screen on Android Auto line item. You want to click that and then make sure you check the box, and make sure you do it for both Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Now, the very first time I did it, as soon as I hit it, the sound for the car muted itself and I couldn't get it to turn back on. So I got a paper clip and I slipped it into this little reset button right here. Hold it for a few seconds, the infotainment system resets, and then after that everything was fine. However, when you do this, you have to make sure that your phone is not plugged in. If you have it already plugged in with Android Auto or Apple CarPlay in use, this will not come up in your search function. So here I have to make sure it's not plugged in. Number 8 is the plugshere app. And boy oh boy, I wished I had known more about this app before I had gone on my road trip. This app lets you search your area for level 2, level 3, or whatever kind of charging you want. There's a lot of filters for you to kind of mess around with, but there's free level 2 charging options, and this app will tell you where they are. Tip number 9 would be to use a better route planner. Also a similar app to plugshere, but this one is more of an advanced mapping guide. You can filter for specific charger networks. You can even take into account battery percentages, what battery percentage you're leaving with, what you want to arrive with, all that stuff. So definitely a really advanced and helpful tool. Tip number 10, more so for owners like myself who just like to have touch-up paint handy in case you get rock chips and want to cover it up. For this one, I realized that the Ioniq 5, when I bought it, was just too new, so most places didn't have touch-up paint available. And the website that I found, I believe, is one of the cheaper ones, but not only that, they make it clear exactly what the paint code is. And I was finding that the Hyundai Ioniq actually has a lot of the same paint codes and paint colors as the Ioniq 5. So you want to grab your paint code from your window sticker. There might be other places you can find it, but you want to use that to match it up with what you see on the website to make sure you're getting the right paint. Tip number 11, and this is actually from one of you guys, so thank you for your comments and your suggestions as always. and that's to have a USB-A to USB-C adapter. Obviously, the Ioniq 5 comes with USB-A ports, so if you don't want to buy new cables or new old cables, then just get those little adapters and you'll be fine. And lastly, tip number 12 is the Teslatap. If you plan on road tripping or you plan to use a lot of level 2 destination chargers, Teslatap allows you to use a Tesla charger to charge your car. Again, has to be a level 2 destination charger. You cannot use the supercharging network. So yeah, that's about it. That's the list of tips and tricks that I've learned over the past roughly 2 months of ownership. I'm sure I'm going to continue to learn more as time goes on. So also please feel free to share anything that I may have missed. Looking forward to hearing from all of you. Thanks for watching.